This is the story of how I beat a giant in a weird tug-of-war game. April 19th, 2025. I attended an Easter weekend celebration, and in the evening they held a games night. We were split into 4 groups to compete against each other, and after a few games they revealed the game that will be the focus of the story. It was a combination of tug-of-war and placing ping pong balls on upside down cups. The objective of the game was to make your way over to a tray containing ping pong balls to place on 5 upside down cups. All the while your opponent was pulling against you trying to do the same, as there was a rope tied to both players' waists. Younger kids played first to demonstrate the rules and how to play the game. After a few rounds, the game moved on to older people, which is where I come in. I volunteered for my team because no one else wanted to go in. But as I walk up to the arena, I see that my opponent is a giant towering over everyone. I heard from one of my friends in another team that someone from their team went up to volunteer, but once he saw the giant in the arena, he silently backed down, which obviously didn't make me feel any better. So now it was me up against this Goliath. His name was Alex. They began to tie the rope around our waists. I forgot to mention before, but they added a layer of padding beneath the rope, so that the rope wouldn't hurt us. Even though I was wearing a bulky hoodie, I opted to get more padding because I needed all the protection I could get if I would have faced this mountain pretending to be a man. Of course, Alex opted not to get any padding. Maybe he thought it wouldn't hurt and he could just tank the pain if there was any. Little did he know, this would bite him later. Despite the game organizer persistently reassuring me that it was going to be okay when I tried to back out, I knew this was an unfair matchup, so I had to come up with a plan to make sure I won, or at the very least, not lose by a landslide. The crowd counts us down. 3, 2, 1. The game starts. My first strategy was to hold on to the rope with my right arm and make sure Alex couldn't get any ground while I slowly made my way toward my tray, but he was too big and heavy for me to hold with just one arm, so I began to slowly be dragged over to his side. This was not looking good. Can you believe this guy said that he didn't weigh a lot, trying to reassure me before destroying someone half his height? Nah, I wasn't going to let that happen. As he tried to grab a few balls from his tray, I grabbed onto the rope with both hands and pulled as hard as I could to get him away from the tray. It was my only hope in beating him now, because it was already an unfair battle. And to my surprise, I was actually able to pull him back and make him lose his footing. Now this next part is crazy. At the time, I didn't know this happened while I was playing, because I was so focused on beating Alex, and my body was pumping with adrenaline. But a woman from his team went into the arena and started hitting me! I was so locked in, I didn't even feel her hitting me, and it didn't even register she was there. I didn't even remember seeing her until a friend showed me a video afterwards. She got shooed off by the game organizer, and I made my way to my tray while the colossal titan was down. I was able to get a few balls on my cups. I was this close to victory, but then they stopped the game because I wasn't allowed to pull on the rope. Well, it was the only way I would have a shot at beating him, so don't blame me for thinking outside the box. Also, Mr. Tough Guy over here said the rope was starting to hurt, so maybe he should have taken the padding in the first place. Now with the new rules in place, they began to count us down. 3. A million thoughts are racing around in my mind. I had to think of a new strategy. 2. I could just dive and try to go for as many balls as I can, or I might just get absolutely rolled this round. 1. We separated and left to our trays, and the rope snapped. I must have weakened it when I was pulling on it, and Alex nearly fell on his face because his strategy was to just lean and abuse his height to reach this tray. In the end, the game could not continue because there was only one rope, but I technically placed more balls in the first round than Alex did. So we win these!